There are a lot of horror movies that get released and some really great ones that get lost in the shuffle. So today I'm going to talk about 10 horror hidden gems that no one is talking about that you need to see. How's it going, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to another episode here at Figure Out Films. I'm your host, as always, Chris, and I'm so excited today to talk about these horror hidden gems because I love horror movies, and there's a lot of horror movies that I like that nobody has seen or people forget about, and I'm just here to shed some light on them. Now, if you are new to this channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button and hit that notification bell if you like more horror movies and you want to see more top 10s. We're trying to increase that subscriber count. We're moving. I love the support, so let's keep it pushing. And for those returning, I appreciate the support. I hope you like today's video. And let's go with number 10. This is a movie that just got a new 4K release through Arrow, and I just saw it on Blu-ray, and I'm already ready to upgrade it because I really enjoy this movie. This is another movie by William Friedkin, who seems to constantly be on my list here on this channel. I'm starting to really love this director. I'm talking about his 1980s Al Pacino starring Cruising. Cruising is a movie that has to deal with marginalized groups, a almost giallo-like horror movie, and a slasher, and like a psychological horror movie, all blended in together. It is a very weird mix that William Friedkin balances really well to make a very interesting and very unique horror movie. Now, I wouldn't categorize it specifically as just horror because there's a lot of other aspects. Al Pacino plays the undercover detective during the homosexual movement of the 1980s, and where they're being closeted and they're being marginalized and they're honestly being bullied by police during this time. And there is also a killer in their community as well that nobody seems to want to do anything about. So Al Pacino goes in from his police chief, Paul Sorvino, yes, from Goodfellas. So I love that little mix in there. Basically to infiltrate and figure out who is this killer. Now he does stakeouts. He starts to lose his mind and fall into not knowing if he's like maybe closeted homosexual, and like also trying to figure out who this killer is because it could be quite a few different people. It's a very interesting like look into the psychology of Al Pacino's character, and there's some, like I said, really great slasher giallo moments as well to keep you horror hounds, feeding. So I really enjoy Cruising. And again, I don't know many people who have seen this movie for me to be able to talk more about it. So I highly recommend you check it out. Like I said, it does have a new 4K through Arrow, and I'm pretty excited to get it once it's on sale. The Blu-ray looks great, but I mean on 4K, I could tell like this movie would look really good. So definitely check out Cruising. Next movie on the list is another gem of a movie that I absolutely love. I always recommend this movie to people who like need like a spooky tales kind of movie, kind of not gothic, but kind of atmospheric horror. I'm talking about Autopsy of Jane Doe. Now, the Autopsy of Jane Doe came out in 2016, and honestly, I have talked to maybe less than 5 people who have seen this movie and know about it and like it. The Autopsy of Jane Doe stars Brian Cox, who's a coroner and who has his son as well working with him, who are just trying to get through a night shift at their family business practice. And eventually, the last person that's coming in is a Jane Doe. It's an unidentified woman who they are conducting an autopsy on. Now, when they're trying to do the autopsy, a lot of strange things happen. Now, this is like in their corner space. It seems like almost like a bunker underground. It's a very interesting, unique place. But basically, the Jane Doe may be the one behind all these bizarre events and like these noises, and these two coroners kind of losing their mind. Now, their father and son relationship is a little rocky as well. Brian Cox is a hard ass, but that's why we love him. Does a great job in this movie, and the visual scares in this movie is very psychological, and you don't know if what they're seeing is a hallucination or if it's actually some sort of demonic thing happening. The Autopsy of Jane Doe is honestly a pretty shocking horror movie. It's a movie that kind of creeps me out. It's a movie that I think will stick with you long after the credits roll. It's a very entertaining little slice that came out in the 2010s, and I'm a little afraid that it got forgotten. I really enjoy this movie. If you've seen The Autopsy of Jane Doe, please spread the word. This movie is great. And any horror movie that has Brian Cox is a movie that's worth watching. So at number 9, I have The Autopsy of Jane Doe. The next movie on the list is a movie from 2012. Remember when people thought the world was gonna end in 2012? Well, I'm glad it didn't, and I'm glad I was able to see this movie years after the movie came out. This movie you can watch on Netflix, I'm pretty sure still. That's how I've still been able to see it. The movie I'm talking about is Would You Rather? Would You Rather is a movie starring Jeffrey Combs from Reanimator fame. It also stars Brittany Snow, who was also in the new Ty West film X that came out a few years ago, and then also stars June Squibb, who's in Hubie Halloween, and we actually just saw her at the Oscars, which she had a very hilarious joke about her and Bill Skarsgård. But this movie, Would You Rather, is a very interesting premise. It's honestly, you could see it coming from a mile away sort of ending. But what basically Would You Rather is Jeffrey Combs is a very rich man, and he invites a few people within his community, I think it's once a year, to his house to have dinner and basically play a game. Basically, he has the people come and do is he grabs damaged people who have like fought addiction or in some sort of financial crisis. He basically dares them to do one thing or the other. Like, if, okay, would you rather do this or do this? If you're poor, would you rather do this or stay poor? And it gets really dark and twisted and sadistic and honestly kind of unnerving. Man, I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty entertaining too. Maybe I am messed up in the head, but I would recommend Would You Rather. It's a movie where it makes you think, could you do that? But then also like, I can't believe he's asking someone to do that. It lays the groundwork for movies like Ready or Not, which I think are better movies, and I absolutely love Ready or Not. But if you like movies like that, you might like Would You Rather, especially with the ending where you're just like, damn, that happened. Anyway, I don't want to spoil anything. I highly recommend you check it out. I don't think it even has a physical media release. If it does, let me know and send it to me, please, so I don't have to keep streaming it on Netflix. But yeah, at the list at number 8 is Would You Rather. Next movie on the list is a movie I feel like I've only talked about in my group of friends, and that's when it first came out. After that, I haven't heard a word about this movie since then, but I still really enjoy it. I've actually watched it twice, and it's still pretty entertaining. This is a movie from 2018. What a weird year. Not a very great year in terms of Oscars, but great year for like movies that needed more recognition. Besides, I'm talking about If Beale Street Could Talk, that should have won Best Picture. For those who know. But for me, at number 7 is the movie called Assassination Nation. Assassination Nation is a movie that dials in on the pre-Gen Z, the phone addiction, young people energy that a lot of movies are trying to do now. So Assassination Nation is a group of high school girls who live in Salem, Massachusetts, and basically in their high school, a data leak breaches in the school and in the community. And basically an all-out like apocalyptic outbreak happens for the town. Basically all hell breaks loose in the community of Salem because it's cursed, the Salem witch trials. They're basically doing a late 2010s version style of this, and then it actually descends into anarchy and chaos. And the girls here, the 4 girls who are in high school, end up deciding to survive the night as if it's a Purge movie. Now, it's kind of crazy as a premise, I know, and honestly it has a lot of Mean Girl spirit to it, and I mean like the movie, but like as if it was in a Purge world, and it has kind of like a mean spirit energy to it, but I kind of enjoy it. It does its job very well. The movie's very entertaining, and as someone who loves the Purge movies, this is kind of like a Purge light, but like in its own way. It's also kind of like a revenge film as well. It's a genre blender, honestly, and it's pretty entertaining. Assassination Nation, I think, is pretty controversial. I think a lot of people were pretty upset by this movie. It is a heavy R movie. I really enjoy it. Let me know down in the comments below. Have you seen Assassination Nation? I think now more than ever in the world of brain rot and TikTok, this movie kind of ages like wine in comparison to other movies trying to do it today. So yeah, I would check out Assassination Nation if any of those things I mentioned are interesting to you, or you might end up hate watching it. Nonetheless, if you have seen it, please let me know down in the comments below so I can find my people. Coming in next is a body horror movie that I absolutely love and I will never stop gushing about, or this director, because he's bulletproof when it comes to this. I am, of course, talking about Spanish director Juan Piquar Simón. I'm talking about his 1988 creature feature, Slugs. I've talked about this movie briefly on my buddy Daniel's from the Cobwebs channel before, but I'm going to talk about it here finally in the channel because I absolutely love this movie. This is a creature feature that does not get enough love or attention, and it absolutely deserves all of those things. So Slugs, basically a small rural community is dealing with a infestation of slugs. Now these slugs, whatever, they're bugs. Now the other issue is they're mutated, so they're brain eating, they're human flesh seeking slugs. And they kind of have their eyes set on a few townsfolk here that keep dropping like flies, so to speak. Now, the inspector of the city is not sure what is causing it. And with political yellow tape kind of barring his investigation, he has to put basically the law in his own hands and discovers that there's a breeding army of slugs underneath the city's foundation. Now, that sounds insanely crazy, but stick with me. Let me cook here. It is actually so good. The body horror, the gore in this movie from the Slugs is so damn good. The dialogue in this movie with the characters is so enjoyable. It's entertaining here. Arrow Video really cooked putting this movie on Blu-ray because this movie deserves to be seen. It looks great. It's crispy clean. I would not mind a bigger version because it's a 2K restoration. I mean, this movie looks phenomenal. This is a great, entertaining creature feature. This is like one of those midnight double movies, and like you're gonna stay up and watch this one the whole time. Slugs is honestly such an enjoyable movie. It's so gross, but like in a tasteful way. It's just midnight madness. It's just on steroids. I love these little suckers. I think these slugs in this movie are so great. They look good as well. There's just a scene where a guy's face basically falls off and you see the slugs in his face. Like I said, the practical effects, the gore in this movie is so good. I haven't seen it replicated like this. And for such a low budget movie, it's so damn entertaining. So I highly recommend you check out Slugs. And gonna go ahead and double Slugs with another creature feature. Now this one came out in 1987, so a year before Slugs. This is The Nest. Now I have it here through Scream Factory, which is a very inexpensive Blu-ray to get, honestly, for such a great movie. This is a bang for your buck creature feature. Similar to Slugs, there is a bug infestation happening in a small town. Now this is on an island town, and what the local police officer is discovering is that there is a bug problem happening on the island, and then people in the town are starting to fall one by one, and there's no explanation for it. Turns out there's an evil corporation conducting experiments on these cockroaches, I believe they are, and basically they have a need to feed, and it's on human flesh. So it's up to the police chief and the mayor's daughter to basically destroy this corporation and stop their experiments from happening and going off to the mainland, and then also to stop all these human-eating bugs from terrorizing the rest of the island. This is, again, if you double these two together, you would have such a good time. These are such good movies. And like The Nest, also, unlike Slugs, it mixes body horror elements in this movie. There is an insane body horror transformation scene in this movie that you have to see to believe. It is so creepy and so good. The suspense is built. This feels like early 1950s, creature features like Them and so on. So if you like those movies, this is kind of like that, but they up the ante in the gore. This is a great time. The Nest is a movie that does not get enough love, or it does not get talked about enough when we talk about creature features. This is, to me, one of the GOATs. This is such a good one. Pair this with Slugs, and it's immaculate pairing right there. Have you seen Nest? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you check out The Nest. Coming up next is a slasher movie that's almost kind of like Home Invasion, but done right. This is a movie I've never been able to talk about with anyone other than my buddy Daniel from the Cobwebs channel. We watched this. I am talking about the 2009 The Collector. Now, The Collector from 2009, I've seen this poster at video stores growing up, so often. I always wondered what this movie was about, but this is such a kind of like a break-in movie. So basically, the premise is a home burglar is breaking into this house, but then when he finds out that there's someone else trying to break in as well, the Collector, he needs to break out of this house, but the Collector will not let him out and escape. He's on the pursuit. It is a very original, fresh take on like home invasion and thrillers. This is a great time. And here's the thing, the protagonist in this movie is like a down on his luck kind of guy, so you really feel for him. Like he's robbing because he's trying to punch a ticket to a better life. But the Collector is there to torture them, and when our convict robber protagonist kind of catches wind, he's trying to save them while also trying to escape. It is a very interesting like cat and mouse concept that's not really been seen in horror movies before, and it has like the late Saw like energy that those movies had in the late 2000s. It kind of has that in this movie too. So it has that really raw energy. If you like the Saw movies, if you like slasher movies, and you like suspense movies like Don't Breathe, this is a great like precursor to those other movies. And I feel like it's fresh enough that even though it's similar to those movies, this kind of did it first in some ways and does it in its own way. So I highly recommend you check out The Collector. You won't be disappointed. I don't know what people even think about this movie. All I know is I love The Collector, and more people should at least check it out. Next movie on the list is a 1970s slasher movie that don't know what people think about it. I love this movie. I barely hear any talks about it, and I need people to check this movie out. It's from a director who's done things like King of New York and other movies like A Bad Lieutenant, movies that other people kind of recognize. I'm talking about Abel Ferrara, and I'm talking about his 1979 slasher, The Driller Killer. Now, The Driller Killer, you can get this through Arrow Video on Blu-ray. I highly recommend you do. This is the Steelbook version. I'm not going to show you the other side because there's a drill going in a guy's head. But The Driller Killer. So basically, Abel Ferrara directs and stars in this movie as a down-on-his-luck New York painter. What happens to him is he's trying to basically stay off the streets. He once had, I believe, an addiction, and he went to art to basically get away from it, and it now pays his bills. The problem is his art, he's having like an artist block. When he's walking through the streets of New York at night, he does run into often one of his biggest fears. He sees a lot of homeless people. Now, once he can't start to produce art, he's facing homelessness. He cannot pay his bills. He can't afford his apartment and other things, and he feels abandoned. Slowly descending into madness and rage and frustration, he decides one night to take care of his fear and go on a killing spree with a drill, killing homeless people. The Driller Killer is such a great movie. I absolutely love the idea that a protagonist takes out his fears and basically massacres them. And we see it on screen. It's an Arrow Video movie. I believe it was a Video Nasties at one point and it was banned. This is this is a very gruesome movie. Like I said, I highly recommend people check it out. I'll keep talking about it. Let me know down in your comments below. Is this a movie that would interest you? Have you seen The Driller Killer? Let me know down in the comments below. And next is another recent watch film for me, and I absolutely loved it. It's a 1983's Giallo movie. It's from Lamberto Bava. This is a great time. I'm talking about the movie A Blade in the Dark. Now, The Blade in the Dark I got here on 4K. Yes, on 4K through Vinegar Syndrome. I highly recommend you check out their site and pick up this movie because you will not be disappointed. It stars an up-and-coming film composer who is basically trying to edit some parts of a movie and insert music in it. He's in this huge, big mansion house all by himself, and strange things start to happen. He starts to get visited by strange people. There's a murder in the house, and he's not sure if there actually is or he's just imagining it because he's somewhat sleep deprived. I absolutely love this movie. Lamberto Bava, whose father was Mario Bava, who did other great Giallo movies, really dialed in here. The guy locked in and delivered a very, very good Giallo slasher movie. But the mystery is so good, it's at the edge of your seat. You're not gonna guess what's going on near the end of the movie and who's the killer. A lot of answers, like, you know, you're left wondering. It plays into a great third act. I absolutely love this movie, and on 4K, it's a gem and it's a beauty to behold. It's such a good time. And I love like the filmmaking aspects of it because, like, again, he's a film composer. It's people who are fans of horror movies might take some interest in seeing that as well. It plays into a really good setting and like kind of like subplot as well. And you will see some inspirations from previous iconic horror movies in this as well. So if you're a big fan of like iconic horror movies and like really good murder mysteries, A Blade in the Dark might be the one for you. And finally, the last movie I'm going to talk about is from a director that I will always defend, and I don't know why he does not get enough love. I've talked about this movie before, and I'll talk about it again. I'm talking about Rob Zombie's 2012 release of The Lords of Salem. Now, another movie that takes place in Salem, Massachusetts. So that was like unintentional, if I do say so. I've talked about this movie before in my Rob Zombie movie ranking. So if you haven't checked that video out, definitely check it out as well. I'll put a link of it down below. The Lords of Salem. Basically, Sherry Moon Zombie is a radio DJ who's playing music for a band called the Lords of Salem, and she starts to believe that she is living with a covenant of witches, and they have chosen her to be the mother to carry the next birth of Christ, which actually might be some demon spawn. The Lords of Salem also activate these hidden witch powers that she may have. She hallucinates. We get some really great body horror. This is like a pseudo A24 film. This is a slow burn kind of horror movie that he snuck in here that I think people really underrate. This is very tight, very good filmmaking. The Lords of Salem music as well, and the score is so chilling and creepy. The Covenant of Witches aspect of this is so good. It has an amazing, phenomenal final act. The visual terrors in this movie are pretty unique and original, and I gotta give credit to Rob Zombie, and I think more people need to as well. The Lords of Salem is a movie that I think is so criminally underrated. I think forcefully hated because it's directed by Rob Zombie. I think we need to take a step back and we really need to rewatch this and appreciate just how good he did for us in 2012. And that's why it's on the list of horror gems that just need to be seen. And there you have it. Those are 10 horror movie hidden gems that you need to check out. What did you think of what did you think of the list? Let me know down in the comments below. Do you like more top 10s like this? Do you like to see more? Let me know some other ones you'd like to see down in the comments below. If you are new to this channel and you like these style of videos, please, if you've not hit that subscribe button, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Don't forget to check out our socials as well on Instagram and on TikTok. If you like seeing those YouTube shorts as well, what's another figure you would like me to do a review on? I'd love to hear your suggestions as well. But other than that, my name is Chris here at Figure Out Films. And remember, if you are not talking about hidden horror gems, do you really care about cinema? Other than that, I'll see you next time.